What you're about to witness is probably the most horrendous Idle Heroes account that I have seen in a very, very long time. Every mistake that has been made in this account is one bred on ignorance, poor choices, and a general lack of knowledge and understanding of the game. Ignorance is one thing. That's fine. But to actively act on that ignorance and limited information that you have to make a series of mistakes that are borderline unforgivable and soul-crushing is another level. I don't think words will do justice what you're about to see today, but I'm going to have to try. What we have, E5s, E4s, E3s, E1s, remnants of the past because this guy hadn't played the game for quite a while. And he made every mistake possible when he came back to his account. He wailed on the most recent event that he was taking part in, got all the wrong items, wasted soul symbols trying to fix this mess, whilst destroying the only things that actually mattered. I asked the guy that owns this account, where the hell did you put the soul symbols? Because I don't see anything that's been fixed. And he said, LOEs. He regressed his LOEs because, to quote him, she was Tree of Origin and he didn't realize he couldn't get it off of her, so regressed her so he could get it back. By regressing the LOEs, he wasted 5 soul symbols when he should have just kept her as she was. And then proceeded to build a Lord of Fear Aspen and shove it inside of this because he heard Lord of Fear Aspen was good. Building a Lord of Fear Aspen with no other Transcendence heroes, and you can't even make him to Tree of Origin 5, is horrendously poor. This guy sucks. So what then next happened was he realized he didn't have any Essence Sublimation. So going in on the Gala that we've recently just have, he could only get to 150 points, and when he chose to get to the top reward, chose Spiritual Essence, and you can see, if God forbid he'd have made it to 300, he would have gone with Spiritual Essence again. The amount of foolishness that encourages that decision is immeasurable. Sublimation is way better, and the reason Spiritual Essence is so bad to choose is because Spiritual Essence is free! Right here! 200,000, 400,000, 600,000, and if you get all that, you could jolly well try and get to 1.25 million and get another 2.1 million down here. There is so much free Spiritual Essence, but you know what? The bozo wasted his soul symbols. He had 20 of them, regressing heroes like Eloise for no frickin' reason. Whereas if he'd have taken Eloise up to Tree of Origin 3, like a sensible person, he'd have gotten 200,000 Spiritual Essence. If he'd have then chosen to regress her to build a Fortress or Forest hero to Tree of Origin 3, he'd have then got himself 200,000 more Spiritual Essence. And if he then had regressed that hero to build a Light and Dark to Tree of Origin 3, he would have got 200,000 more Spiritual Essence on top of that. Meaning he would have had 600,000 Spiritual Essence and some Stellar Shards for free using the soul symbols he already had. Then he could have gone and regressed this and rebuilt his Eloise to like Tree of Origin 5 or something. But instead, no. We have a Tree of Origin 3 Lord of Fear Aspen that's a D+, that's completely useless. Attack HP stone. This guy doesn't even know what stones to throw in his heroes. Just for context, the Lord of Fear Aspen at this stage of the game should be running a speed crit stone and crit attack. That is generally advised. At least we have melodic strings here at Splendid. And I asked him, bro, what did you wail on last week? Last week we had a massive event that was giving Sublimation, Core of Origins, all that stuff available for him. And I said, what did you get? And he go, oh, I got all the Sublimation. And I said, bro, there was like 1 sub chest, maybe 2. So what did you get? And he's like, oh, actually, no, I remember now. Artifacts. He could have gone with Cores of Origin. He could have gone with Stellar Shards. He could have gone with all that kind of stuff. But no. He chose to go with artifacts. So I bloody well hope we've got some good artifacts on this account. If I go check the Almost Workshop, it's not that bad. We've got a Splendid Melodic Strings, and a Splendid Golden Crown, and a Glittery Receptor soon to be Splendid, and Antlers Cane's on its way up as well. That's not terrible. In fact, your next artifacts will want to be Elusive Mirror, and then some Demon Bells to give you consistent energy feed. That would be really good to get those artifacts on this account. If you get some energy feed artifacts, That would be great. So, where does the horror continue then? Take a look at the Celestial Island. We have, on this, barely any upgrades on Eloise's house. And you might think, oh, we're less than 30. Is this due to a shortage of Master's Toolboxes? No. This guy has 600 Master's Toolboxes. He just doesn't have any flipping Celestial Island resources to level up his heroes, which is atrocious. And not to mention the fact that what hero he has leveled up was a Lord of Fear Aspen. Many of you may wonder, but MK, isn't Lord of Fear Aspen meant to be good? Not when you've only got one Transcendence hero. To build someone like Lord of Fear Aspen, Doom Terminator Vulcan, Patricia, anyone like that, when you've only got one Transcendence hero, is really, really, really poor. Because the purpose of your first Transcendence hero is to support your pre-existing team, which in his case was Eloise before he went and regressed her, and then decided to rebuild her back up again for some reason. But the some reason was correct. He absolutely was correct for rebuilding back up this Eloise. But he shouldn't have destroyed her in the first place. The Transcendence hero he should have had, I wonder, who was it that you did have? No! He had a Fairy Queen Vessa. That's fine! You spent 10 soul symbols undoing a Fairy Queen Vessa. And 5 soul symbols undoing an Eloise. You literally threw 15 soul symbols on an account that needs tons of them to fix it in the bin. What you mean she didn't do a lot? Vessa's job is to heal and give you shields, and it's Eloise that does everything. And also, bro, everything you've told me about heroes doing stuff, you don't even know how to use your fucking heroes properly. You've got an attack HP or attack HP holy damage Aspen. And don't tell me about heroes not doing a lot. Because if you go and take a look at his frickin' monthly events and his broken spaces, he wasted all of his attempts trying to clear stage 7. This guy can't even do broken spaces, and he's got a frickin' Transcendence hero. Lord of Fear Aspen, the most powerful boss slayer in the game. This shouldn't be a problem. And then you go and look at his frickin' team that he's running. He's running Lord of Fear Aspen with a Punisher of a Mortal? I'm sorry, what? If you want crit attack, get a flippin' crit attack stone and run something that gives you damage like an Antler's Cane. Can you read? When a round ends, increases all damage dealt by 6%. Which means this is going to ramp up and ramp up and ramp up and ramp up and deal loads more damage. You willfully read this and went, no. Punisher of a Mortal sounds better. What? Absolutely horrendous. Don't make that mistake. In fact, never choose Punisher of a Mortal if you're building an account. It's a horrendous artifact. No. And then you look at the rest of his choices. Eloise with an Augustus Magic Ball. Dude, how much block does she need? She's got 199%. Why did you put this on? What's the 50% block going to do? I know you know that Eloise needs to block, but you just didn't realize she already had enough in the first place. So this Augustus Magic Ball could have been anything. It could have been the freaking Antler's Cane. Not that she's any good at bosses. She's horrendous at killing bosses. She's awful at it because she needs to counterattack, and there's only 2 enemies to fight, so you're not going to get a lot of counterattacks. Carry is actually fine because energy stealing bosses helps, but then you chose Penny with a magic source. Who cares if you get an active skill round 1? It's a boss fight. What are you doing? Crit attack? Why is she not wearing the Punisher for flip's sake? That would have made at least some sense because she wants to crit all the time. But no, you've got a Penny with 58% crit, barely any crit damage. And honestly, Penny kind of sucks at killing bosses in the first place. And you look, we've got Ticks, that's fine. You've got Heartwatcher, that's fine. But you actually willfully neglected to put Drake on your lineup. And this is a Drake. Defense down. Reduces the target's 100% of armor, damage reduction, all damage reduction, block, and dodge. You can strip every single bit of defense they have, even at 9-star. Yes, this is how stupid some people are when they play this game. They think they need to be running every E5 they own. Right? You just get complete tunnel vision that, oh, it's an E5, I must run this. No! And even then, Belrain could have buffed your attack or something. That would have been better than what some of those heroes are doing for you. Amun-Ra could have given you protection from defensive bubbles. Not that that's going to help too much. Garuda is a solid-ass damage dealer. And she's not even on your lineup. Right? Skills matter in this game. It's why we build 9-star Waldeck for his Blood Frenzy. It's why we build 9-star Ignis, wherever the heck she is on this list. There she is, for Eternity of Dragon Soul, so she gives you 100 energy and 100% control immunity. It just requires a modicum of skill, or even just watching one YouTube video to learn and understand these things. And this is the problem. We've got a guy who's probably sampled a few bits of YouTube, but they're not really engaged with understanding why things are done and why things are good, and relied on his intuition as opposed to anything else. You thought Penny was better than Garuda, and maybe she was when I played it. No, she was never better than Garuda. Not at killing bosses. Not at all. This happens a lot. People get stuck in their own opinions and ideas and actually don't go and do some homework. And I know, right? He's done the right thing, which is joining us here in the community to come and learn what's wrong with his account. And by the way, he's willingly said that I can yell at him and shout at him and tell him everything wrong because he said it would be funny and he's up for it. He's a good sport, right? But Penny is not very good anymore. She's fine for what she does, which is Fortress Seal and Aspen Dungeon. That's it. Right? Early days. And I'm sure as heck hoping you've cleared Aspen Dungeon. You're at Purgatory 1. That's good. At least you've got Death 100 beaten. I'd have been disappointed if you didn't. Right? But if you look at everything else, there's so many heroes that you could have undone here. In fact, if you'd have kept the soul symbols you had, and if you hadn't have touched Eloise, if you hadn't have touched your Aspen, we would have had 15 soul symbols, which means we could have at least done the glory challenge. So the problem is, you came to me to fix your account after you'd already tried to fix it yourself. You've come to a mechanic shop after already trying to fix your car, and you've broken it more by trying to fix it yourself. And the problem is, I can't do anything. A lot of the time, I log in on accounts like this. And the comment section says, MK, why didn't you fix his account? All you did was shout at him for 15 minutes. And the reason is because I can't. This guy literally came back, blew his soul symbols, changing things he didn't need to change, thinking it would make his account better, and is still stuck and can't make any progress. And I said to him, why did you build Aspen? You know what he said? His Vessel wasn't doing anything. The Vessel wasn't doing anything in Void Campaign. Right? Void Campaign. So he went, okay, I'm going to build Aspen because Aspen's good at Void Campaign. And oh, you did 1-1-1 solo? Oh, praise the Lord, it's all okay then. You cleared one stage. That's fine. You know, those 10 soul symbols you wasted, that's all okay then. Your almost useless Lord of Fear Aspen cleared one stage. With max buffs, you're absolutely right, with max HP, max attack, max speed buffs. Then I guess it's all alright. No, I'm being sarcastic. It's horrendous. It's a very poor decision. And I'm really confused as to why your Aspen only has 1.2 million attack. For an account that's VIP 7 and has this many E5s. It's insane. Right? Absolutely insane. And then you look at this. What is Resilience doing here? Right? There's no Purifies chosen or anything. You Balance Strike, which is kind of okay. But then, what are you doing? So, do you have any dust? Can I fix these stones? Oh no, 185,000? You barely have any dust. Where is your dust? How many of these heroes have completely useless Soulstone 3s? Oh, every single frickin' one of them. So you know those soul symbols you had? I would have... No! All your E1s! This useless-ass Flora! This frickin' Mockman! Russell! On Kiramaru! He's a tenant and you went with skill damage precision! The only skill that matters when it comes to tenants is attack. You were trying to do the glory challenge. You were trying to do this. Why? For one chest that contains Morax or anyone earlier. What? In what way did your brain go, yeah, that sounds like a good idea? One chest. And you know the worst thing is, we don't even know where that chest is. It might be right here for all we know. Nope, it's a different one. You've already got chests that you're not using. Oh no, they're the bad ones. What about this? Well, no, we do have some heroes here. Yet you've actively chosen spiritual essence as a reward from events. Knowing full... So you have read the glory challenge then. You have looked at the glory challenge. Did you only notice this before or after destroying your Eloise? And I bet you another thing's happened with this account. I bet you this guy did the thing that so many of you do because you don't think, which is the glory challenge says I need to build a Tree of Origin 3 hero in the Light and Dark faction. I'll build Lord of Fear Aspen then. He's a dark hero. He's a dark hero. No, wrong. He's Transcendence. So he doesn't even count. So you have to now undo this guy to even be at a position where you can get your glory challenge done. So you know those 10 soul symbols you spent? You need to now spend 10 more to undo the Aspen just so you can do the glory challenge in the first place. You were confused about that? No, the game says very clearly Light and Dark, and Aspen very clearly says he's a Transcendence hero. But it's one of the most common mistakes people make. Because people don't read and they don't think. And it's not there to trick you, right? He's a whole other faction. But you just assume and you make a mistake. And we see so many of these moments where bro has assumed and made mistakes, and it's really unfortunate. It's really, really unfortunate. So how would I fix this account? What would I do to salvage this mess? First things first, I would destroy almost every single hero on this second row. So you're going to need 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40 soul symbols. And don't kill on Kiramaru. He's fine. But kill Belrain, please. She's horrendous. Probably want to kill Garuda. And the problem is, killing these heroes is only useful if you've got somewhere to take it. If you've got something else to build. And this is your other problem. You don't actually have that many copies of heroes. This is his bag. The only hero I can see that we could remotely build to E5 that's worth building is Ignis. But if you look at other hero copies, we don't have many of them. So there's not even really any advantage to regressing these heroes apart from getting the soul stones back. And that sounds really bad. Because, honestly, the soul stones shouldn't be here in the first place. This is giving you no value for the account. And you don't even have the right stones on the heroes that need it. Attack HP should be on LOEs. And this should be crit crit attack, speed crit, or holy damage, skill damage. Check his monsters. Good call. Your monsters aren't bad. You've got Deer, which is fine. It's an early account. You've got Dragon. You've got Phoenix. And you've got Lion. That's okay. Personally, I would not have gone for Wolf next. I'd have probably gone for Snake. And honestly, you don't really need Deer or Dragon. I'd rather have Wolf, Snake, and Fox so you can get energy feed from this thing. So you do have 5 monsters, but you don't have the gold to justify destroying these and rebirthing them, so don't do that. Why E1 Russell? Fat Boy, that's your question. Looking at this account. Let's try that question again, Fat Boy. There is no logic to anything this guy has done. This account doesn't follow rational choices. So why E1 Russell? No. There is no reason why. Because dumb, stupid choices were made. You give this guy credit to think that there's logical reasons for anything being on this account. I know I've just been shouty for the last 10 minutes. And it's because I care. Many of you spend stupid amounts of money on this game. If you're curious how much this is, by the way, this guy spent nearly $2,000. And this is why I get angry and annoyed. Because if you're going to spend that kind of money on this game, at least know what you're doing. Because some of you guys have wives, some of you have kids, some of you have debt. And you willingly spend money on this game despite those things. For what? Just to make your account not good. And if we're honest, it probably doesn't bring you much happiness or satisfaction. And it doesn't make you feel very good. And you don't gain anything from spending that money. And arguably, the guy who owns this account is trying to spend that money to fix his account. He's so sunken cost fallacy, it's insane. He's throwing money at this, trying to solve problems that he doesn't have the competency or understanding to solve. And where are his Aspen tenants? It doesn't frickin' matter. This Aspen shouldn't be in a house. This Aspen shouldn't be his main hero. His Aspen tenants should be in the frickin' bin, along with this Aspen, and everything should be focusing on LOEs right now to make progress. And all that money was spent years ago? Well, that's fine, alright? You quit because you were spending money on the game, whatever. Well, how much did you spend last week? You told me you spent money on last week's event. I can see from here, you've gone in on the luck relay and willingly chosen to go for Spiritual Essence as your top reward here, and you've only half completed a gala. It's really suboptimal to go to 150 in a gala. You should go to 300 or not bother, because the rewards just aren't worth it. So you're still spending. So even if you spent $2,000 in the grand old age of this account, you still spent a few hundred since you've come back. And you've got nothing to show for it. And that's not me trying to guilt trip you. That's not me trying to make you feel bad. Right? That's me just trying to say, look, stop and know what you're doing before you start spending more money. Because it's not going to feel good. I promise you. It's not going to feel good. Yes. So moving forward, you need to save your soul symbols. You need to get a nice big pile of them. You need 10 to undo this Aspen. You need to go and do the glory challenge. Stop getting spiritual essence from events. Get it from here instead. Make a fortress or a forest hero. Make this penny, right? Make this penny, Tree of Origin 3, go as far as you can in the Fortress Seal Land, then regress her. That's 2 birds with 1 stone. You get all the Tree of Origin materials back from her, and you get rid of this hero and get rid of this stone. Then go back to the glory challenge. Now look for light and dark. In this case, we're probably going to go with Belrain. Build this Belrain to Tree of Origin 3. Don't even bother trying to do Light Seal Land with this. And then destroy her. Right? Get her out of here. And that's going to result in more progress. Because you'll be able to get yourself 200,000 spiritual essence. Then go to your LOEs, upgrade her, using what you have. You'll get to Tree of Origin 3, then grab this 200,000 spiritual essence, then take her to Tree of Origin 5. Make her juicy. And you might think, oh, but I can't sublime an Eloise. She doesn't have a sublimation tree. I don't care. Right? Sublimation is for Transcendence heroes, but the stat gain on Eloise alone will be fantastic. And then with your other Stellar Shards, use them to invest on heroes like Tix and Carry to make them stronger tenants. Get yourself some Celestial Island resources by saving them smartly and grinding in the game modes that give it. Tower of Dreams being one of them. Go in the Realms Gate, grind through this, get progress there. Aspen Dungeon Purgatory, all those things you could potentially do to get yourself resources. And the problem is the Realms Gate's Void Corruption is 51. We are miles away from getting Celestial Island resources from here. And where's the Vesa copies of the Fairy Queen Vesa he had? I bet you he awakened them. That Fairy Queen Vesa is long gone. And the other thing, if he is going to build someone to support this Eloise, I don't know if I want him to build Fairy Queen Vesa. Because if he builds Fairy Queen Vesa, he's then going to have to spend 10 more soul symbols to undo that Vesa when he gets to 2 Transcendence heroes. So on this specific occasion, when you destroy the Aspen to get everything out of him using 10 soul symbols, build a Queen. Queen is really easy to get copies of. In fact, if you're struggling, she's in this chest. Build a Queen. Because Queen will at least improve the all damage dealt of your LOEs. Then what you can do is use that Queen to support LOEs, to make LOEs stronger. And that way, when you get to 2 Transcendence heroes, you can build Lord of Fear Aspen, and he's already got his Queen as a tenant. You don't have to waste 10 soul symbols destroying this. And so don't bother at all with Void Campaign. No one bothers with Void Campaign when they only have one Transcendence hero. No one does. Because you don't make any progress. The only people that push Void Campaign with one Transcendence hero are people who have spent thousands on this game, have a massive treasure train, probably a giant killer, and are just letting that giant killer, Lord of Fear, Aspen, Mockman, Doom Terminator, Vulcan, Natalie, whatever it is, just go through and gun this game mode up. And that's just how they play. They're in a different realm. Normal people can't do Void Campaign until they have 2 Transcendence heroes. And that's it. That is it. That is what you'll be doing. And at least by following all those steps, you'll be able to make some progress. You need 10 soul symbols for the Aspen, 5 to build the Penny and Undoer, 5 to build the Belrain and Undoer. You need 20 soul symbols to fix this account. You will get 20 soul symbols at some point. But you need to hoard heroic summon scrolls. You need to hoard prophet orbs. And you will get them over time. Monthly events should be giving you them from Super Wishing Coins, but you've already done this and it literally recently refreshed, so you wasted those 5 soul symbols already. So you need to wait a whole month to get these back. So it's going to take time, it's going to take patience, and it's going to take some dedication and education on your part. When it comes to the next artifacts you want to be picking up, as I said, Elusive Mirror, Demon Bells. That is what you want to be building. Finish your Ruby Scepter, finish your Antlers Cane. And eventually, at some point, slowly start eating through your heroes. And don't worry about regressing them yet. Don't do that. Because when you do the very bottom of the Glory Challenge, when you have enough to Tree of Origin 5 level 120 a Transcendence hero, which is a lot of spiritual essence. When you're at that stage, that is when you will regress all the other crap on this account. You'll build up Garuda, regressor. You'll build up Ada, regressor. You'll build up Russell or anyone, right? The problem is a lot of these are all from the same frickin' faction, which is a problem. There's a lot of lights and there's a lot of forests. In fact, you know when I said build up your Belrain and get rid of her? Probably want to do that with Ada instead, because at least she can do Light Seal Land. Assuming you haven't already done Light Seal. Oh, you already have. It doesn't matter then. Right? They're the things you're going to want to do. Build them up only when you can do them in the Glory Challenge to regress them. And when you can finally do the bottom row of this Glory Challenge, only then do you focus your account on Lord of Fear Aspen, because you will then have enough spiritual essence to build Lord of Fear Aspen to Tree of Origin 5. Only level 100, not level 120. Just level 100, because that's all you need to get this final sublimation level. And you can then also Tree of Origin Halora as well. And Scarlet Queen Halora, Lord of Fear Aspen, will get you progress. And it will fix this mess. And this is the thing. I cannot fix this account today. Because that is all going to take him time to do. And you've asked here, should you get Aspen's core first or Queen? Neither. Do not open your core chests yet. Because core chests should be saved for when you have a better use of them. I see a lot of new players who waste their core chests on Lord of Fear Aspen, destiny themselves a Lord of Fear Aspen really early on, and then start questioning why they can't make progress. And at that point, I cannot suggest to them to consider switching to Vulcan and Natalie, because they've already invested all their core chests into Aspen. If a new hero comes out that is better than Aspen, you have now already doubled down your core chests into that Aspen, making it extremely difficult to transition off of him. And you already have shards for his core. Bro, I've seen the shards you have for this guy's core. You have 14. That's nothing. If you're getting sunken cost fallacy out of 14 out of 100, you're a bozo. Don't open any Core of Origin chests. Any of them. This account is absolutely mind-numbingly terrible. He's made tons of mistakes that we've barely scratched the surface on. And a lot of you do this. You come back and you try and fix it, but because you're coming in with game knowledge from 2 years ago, what you think is good is not the case. So if you are a returning player who has just come back to Idle Heroes and you're thinking, what the heck should I do? The best thing you can do is do nothing and just sign up for an account review. Because I promise you, the community here has far more knowledge and a much more delicate understanding of the game than you will, having not played for 2 years. And we will help you. So if you want that kind of service, you want that kind of treatment, join us at Discord. And rather than wasting your money throwing it on the game trying to fix something you don't understand, join us here at twitch.tv/MKxJUMP in our Discord down below. Do what Myth did. Subscribe. And we can hopefully help you get your account fixed. Don't do what this guy did. And I promise you, we can fix it. Until next time, I hope your account doesn't look like this. Have an amazing week. And happy idling.